Welcome to my You Are More podcast. I'm Amy, and I am extremely excited to have my guest, Dr. Stephanie Gray, with me today. Stephanie is from Iowa, and I'm just going to let you know the rock star we have on this program today. You're not going to want to miss it. So she's a leading functional medicine nurse practitioner who's been helping men and women optimize their health and longevity since 2009 with advanced training in integrative and anti-aging medicine. Who doesn't want to know about that? She's known for her expertise in hormone optimization, gut health, root cause approaches to wellness. Dr. Gray is the founder of the Integrative Health and Hormone Clinic right here in Iowa and Hiawatha, the host of your Longevity Blueprint podcast, and the author of not one, but two books, your Longevity Blueprint and your Fertility Blueprint, which is getting ready to come out when? November 25th? Your Fertility Blueprint's coming out. You're the mom of two boys, and your husband's Eric, and along with him, you have a nutraceutical company, correct?
Yes, I thought you were going to say a dog, but yes, I do have.
Well, your list of accomplishments, I told you this before, but wow, we're fortunate to have someone with your credentials to be so close to us here in Iowa. So thank you for your message that I believe is so needed on this earth right now.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to share this message today.
Yeah. So I thought we'd just get started with what drives you? Like, why you started all this, you've written the book, you've done the thing, you have your practice, but there's always a reason.
Yeah.
So what led you down this path? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Just about what led me down functional medicine path. Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky. I was raised in a family that, my parents always took me to the chiropractor. We always had, good, healthy meals. We were always exercising. A funny story, I put in my first book, I had a lemonade stand and I didn't make any money because I didn't put sugar in the lemonade because we didn't have any sugar in our house. So because I was just raised in this healthy family. So it was kind of ingrained in me. So I almost went to chiropractic school, but I'm really glad that I went the route that I did. I mean, chiropractic, I think, would have been a good fit for me, but I wanted to have the ability to prescribe medications and take patients off drugs. And I really wanted to get to the root cause of the problem. Again, my parents were giving us vitamins, growing wheatgrass juice on the counter. Like, they weren't hippies, but they were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to have that ability. And so there are kind of two pieces to my story. I guess one was how I was raised with that mindset. Really, thankfully, I thank God for that. And I do have credentials, but that's because I started young. So a lot of individuals, I think a lot of doctors don't even learn about functional medicine until they're almost done with their career. They're 50, 60 years old, and now they're hearing about this other way. And I'm blessed and fortunate that I learned about it really early on. But the other part of my story is not just kind of how I was raised, but my health crisis, and I've had several of those, which, nobody wants to have, but we learn through them. So actually, after starting my practice one day, I haven't told this story in a long time, but sitting at my desk after a good morning of patients, my heart just went off to the races. I thought I was having a heart attack. It wasn't a panic attack. It was just tachycardia. And that's something that I have struggled with, very fast heart rate. And I just remember being so disoriented, sitting at my desk. I was like my husband's our office manager. I tried to push his button on the phone. Didn't even know what button he was. So I'm like walking down the hallway. My nurse saw me. I was so pale. Long story short, they called 911. I went to the emergency room. I was having tachycardia, right? I was sent to Mayo Clinic where they told me to not take vitamin D and do a lot of things that I actually recommend to patients.
Yeah.
But long story short, they told me I could take a pill to control my heart rate. And I knew that taking the pill wasn't going to tell me why this was happening to me, that I needed to get to the root cause of the problem. The pills can help, but I wanted to figure out why I was having a fast heart rate. Long story short, a lot of stress was contributing because parallel to this, I was also struggling with infertility and I had GI issues and whatnot. But you can read the full story in my first book if you want. That's the condensed version. But I really, thank God through, knowing functional medicine, my husband just said, okay, we want to get to the root cause of your health problems. Why don't you lay this out, create a blueprint for your patients, something that we can use with them and with you to get to the root cause of your problem. And thankfully, I've been able to, even now, my second and third, the third health crises, which we won't get to today, but the second crisis was infertility, right? Thankfully, I've had the tools, knowing functional medicine, to help me get to the root cause of the problem and avoid I don't want
Yeah.
to say conventional medicine because we need conventional medicine, but I believe what I practice, functional medicine, is just so much better for the patient.
Can you define functional medicine for us?
Yeah. And with that, I think I also want to talk about integrative medicine because I don't want to discount conventional medicine because that is so important. So I practice integrative or functional medicine, and that just means that I integrate or combine conventional medicine with natural complementary methods for which there is evidence of safety and effectiveness.
Right.
And there's an analogy that I keep saying my book, sorry, but there is an analogy if you want to hear more that I share in my first book, which is the fireman versus the carpenter approach. So conventional medicine, I like to call like the fire department. They're here to put out big, bad, ugly fires with their two tools, an axe and a hose, AKA drugs and surgery. And we need those, especially if you have a sinus infection or you're in a car accident or you have a heart attack, right? But upon discharge from the hospital, we're not always taught, how do we prevent that future fire?
Yeah.
Well, with functional medicine, I describe myself as being more a carpenter or contractor. We want to try to help repair, rebuild the body, figure out where the faulty circuitry happened in the first place, get to the root cause where the dysfunction occurred, right? And fix you without Band-Aids, right? Without drugs and surgery. Although, again, there's a time and place for those. But for chronic conditions, and especially for infertility, right? Hence the second book, I think functional medicine is a much better fit.
Do you know what I like about functional medicine from my out here perspective? Is that God designed our body to heal.
Yes.
When given the right tools.
That's what I say all the time. When given the right tools. And that's what sets functional medicine aside is we have all these different tools. Do you want me to just keep talking? Keep us
Yeah.
Okay. So in my first book, the whole point of the book is to help patients build longevity, build health. And so I'm comparing aspects of their home to organ systems in the body. So AKA you need a strong foundation of your house. Well, you're in real estate. You can understand this, right? Upon which to build, or upon which, how do I say this? If you want to live in your house a long time, you have to have a strong foundation, right? And similarly with our body, we have to have a strong, I compare this organ system being the gastrointestinal system, upon which to build good health. So I know this is hard to explain, but I'm comparing every aspect of your home to an organ system in the body. And for every organ system in the body, with functional medicine, we have additional tools, AKA testing for that organ system. And so with chapter 6 of the book, I'm really talking about your endocrine system, and I'm comparing that to the heating and cooling of the home. And so, from an infertility standpoint, we got to have a healthy endocrine system for, reproduction. And so that's the spoof onto the second book. But with the first book, I lost the question, Amy. We were talking about functional medicine, what it is.
And just tools or something you're equipped with.
Yes, that we just have additional tools with functional medicine to help patients get to the root cause of their problem.
So I think I'm going to break it down into the most basic. You're a hope dealer.
Yes.
You're a hope dealer.
Yes.
Like everybody has knocked on the door and they've done all the things and they still feel the way they feel. There's another door I can open.
I'm using that. That's great.
You're
I'm
a hope dealer. To me, when I think about this, and I read through some of your, the interesting thing is I downloaded your longevity blueprint, like, I don't know, a few years ago, right?
Yeah. It came out in 2017.
I started to read some of it, and then I probably got distracted because I'm a little ADD, you know what I mean? But I'm always very concerned with that. I walked through my own health crisis and thinking that I lived very healthy and I never saw that in my future,
Story of my life, and never thought I'd have infertility either. I have a hormone clinic, and here I am. Here I was, struggling with infertility. So yeah, been there.
Those buses that hit your life, like they're that kind of a gatekeeper. But so literally thinking, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm healthy. I don't do this. I don't do that. I do this. I do that. But there's other things going on. I think this just like, okay, you can go down the traditional path. That works so far. But going back to the fact, I'm calling you a hope dealer because it does just open up other things. And so many people struggle every day. And my whole podcast is, and everybody that listens to it, lots of leaders, people that are doing things in life, they're carrying stresses and pressures. And yet, if we don't have our physical, we have nothing. If we don't have our health, we're not going to fulfill what we're on the earth to fulfill. And so I think that just bring the combination like that. I'm so grateful that God led you to do what you do. Guys, I'm going to go see her. I just found out about her a few months ago. I'm going to come see you because I'm excited that, there's someone that's got another lever to pull.
Yes. Your health is your best investment. That's what I tell patients. Yeah. I'm taking another memory certification right now just because I feel like cognitive decline. We could go off on a whole nother tangent. obviously you want to talk about infertility, but cognitive decline is another major issue in society. And there's so much that functional medicine can do to improve that decline and even reverse it. And so that's kind of my new passion, that functional medicine can help.
It can do everything.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. So as you sit there and you talk with people, again, from the perspective of the hope dealer, right? And I'm sorry to call you that, but that's
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I'll have to tell my team that when we're done.
When you sit with circumstances of impossibility, right? Or they feel like they're in an impossibility situation and you're evaluating it. How are you, like, obviously you do testing and all the things, but how much of it are like, hey, intuitively, I'm a vehicle, I'm a channel that I know how to navigate these things.
Well, that's not my life. That's what we do all day long, every day. And we have patients, and if you've seen a functional medicine provider before, you probably have done this, but most functional medicine clinics require you fill out a big questionnaire ahead of time. So I kind of know before they're coming in, okay, they have this autoimmune disease. Like, I know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And they're, maybe with what you do too every day, it's like there are some just standard things we're going to work every single patient through. I mean, back to my first book, Your Longevity Blueprint. I mean, we're going to go through every single chapter, every single organ system, and help this patient rebuild their health. I mean, regardless of if they're coming in with headaches or acne or infertility or whatever it is, generally speaking, we're going to do a lot of the same things.
So would you say that, like, percentage wise, if people follow your plan, right? They got to follow the plan. And they got to do the thing. They got to do the work too.
It's a commitment. It's a commitment.
If they follow it, if they do the work, like, you've been able to probably reverse, like, how many different situations, like, the percentage wise, like 75 or 90% of my patients experience improvement.
Yes, I would say 95%, if more, experience improvement. I can't say we're going to totally reverse or cure. I'd never want to, and I never want to overpromise and underdeliver, but everybody walks out a better person.
Right.
I mean, everybody does, for sure. Yeah.
So in that path that everyone walks out better, what would you say, who is your ideal patient?
I mean, we see everyone, but my ideal patient is a woman in midlife who feels like her body has betrayed her.
This is my audience.
Yeah, who has gained weight. She's having brain fog. She's having hot flashes. She can't sleep. Her mood's gone. Her brain's gone, right? She's feeling like she's losing it. And conventional medicine is basically saying, I can give you an antidepressant and a sleeping pill, go exercise. And like, we need to dig deeper and figure out what has happened in her body, because she does feel like she's a different woman. Her body's betrayed her. Well, we need to figure out why.
Yeah.
So that's my ideal.
You definitely have a path back to vitality.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's good. That's good news. How much of our hormones are affected, would you say, by our lifestyle and by our eating?
A lot.
So
I don't know the percentage, but
but a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Definitely impactful.
Sleep is so important. I mean, if you're not sleeping, you have to get deep in REM sleep. You just have to make hormones. So yes. So if you're working late hours, whatnot, you're not getting good sleep, then you're probably not creating the hormones that you need to thrive. That's just one example. But.
Yeah. So if I'm a busy person and I haven't seen you yet, but I'm going to make an appointment, like, what would be probably your 5 kind of pillars that you say, oh, this is the key to vitality, to hormone balance? Obviously not digging into all the things, but just like, these are just standard pillars.
Yeah.
To improve.
And listeners, she's putting me on the spot here. So I'm
totally putting you on the spot.
So I'm going to wing this, but I do have a handout on my website that I'm trying to remember what's on there, but I'm pretty sure the 3 things that are on there are to optimize your hormones naturally, right? We want to fix nutritional deficiencies. That is in no particular order. I'll say 3, I'll say maybe 5 things. So we really need to fix nutritional deficiencies. Our diet is just not as good as it used to be. And that's partially because the quality of our food has declined, right? The soil is just not the soil is nutrient deficient, producing foods that are also nutrient deficient. So you've got to fix nutritional deficiencies, and we can test for that. So we have a test to see what patients need based on their stress, how they're eating, right? Even patients who grow their own organic food in their backyard are still nutritionally deficient. So we test for vitamins, minerals, amino acids, antioxidants, omegas to see what they need to be supplementing with. Wow. I am a fan of supplements. It's very hard to get from diet everything you need in this toxic, stressful world. So fixing nutritional deficiencies is very important because those serve as cofactors to make hormones. So we've got to fix nutrition. Detoxing the body is also really important. We live in a very toxic world. You and I recording this podcast are surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies, right? There's radiation everywhere, which is okay for the podcast, but you don't want to sleep at night with your Wi-Fi on, with your cell phone next to your head. Like, there are things you can do to minimize everyday toxicities. You don't want to drink out of plastic. Plastics are everywhere, right? When you get your ketchup, your ranch dressing, like everything's in plastic. I drink out of glass or stainless steel. But so these are just some basic tips to help your endocrine system function better, right? To produce hormones. We've got to work to detox the body. But for many patients, we have to dig a lot deeper than just like drinking out of glass bottles. We literally need to detox their livers from heavy metals, from mold, whatnot. So fixing nutritional deficiencies, detoxing the body. Third, which is really hard for me, is reducing stress. So I say this all the time, stress is our body's biggest hormone hijacker. Which also impacts fertility, which is also part of my challenge, right? So when you're stressed, your cortisol is high, your progesterone's low, and progesterone means progestation. It's really the hormone that helps, pregnancy continue. You have to have enough progesterone there for the embryo to implant and continue to grow and thrive. So when you're stressed, you don't have a lot of progesterone. So what we want to do is lower the stress, lower the cortisol, and your progesterone will rise. So fixing, reducing stress, which is hard, is very important. And then I'll come back to sleep. You have to sleep. To live, you have to sleep. And I mean sleep well. Create a sleep sanctuary, which most people know how to do that, but sleep is important. And then I'll throw exercise in there too. Those who exercise just live longer, period. Exercise is good for everything, your brain. So that's my answer, winging it there.
Okay, let's go back to the sleep factor, okay? How many hours do you think you need to sleep a night?
More than most people are getting. You want at least 25% of your sleep to be deep sleep. So I don't know if you wear Oura Ring, if you're a biohacker yet. Yep. I've had this for 8 years. I mean, I have tracked my data. It's so interesting over the years to see the years, especially years that I was pregnant or whatnot, or this year I'm struggling with something. So my HRV is not so good. It's interesting to see this. But you want sleep quality over quantity. So there are things you can do to biohack your sleep to get more deep in REM. Even if you're not in bed for 9-10 hours, you want to make sure you're getting good, deep and REM sleep.
So what would be some of those things you could do?
Supplement-wise?
Or not with your phone next to your head?
Yes, it's electromagnetic. Well, it's radiation, right? But it's excitatory stimulation. That's why patients have insomnia and anxiety. It's like it's infecting their calcium voltage channels, making them all stimulated. So you need a sleep sanctuary. So if you have to have your phone in your master bedroom, don't charge it by your head. I would say put it in airplane mode. I do that every night. Or if it's not in airplane mode, keep it far away from you. Put it in the bathroom or something. Just keep it far away from you. Distance is on your side with that sort of radiation.
Okay.
And then my house, I mean, if you saw my house at night, we dim the lights. Even my little kids wear blue light blocking glasses. We have the amber glasses because blue light blocks melatonin. So my 6-year-old's obsessed with The Amazing Race. He really likes that show. I don't know why, but we let them watch it. Which is on later at night, like 8 or 8:30 or something. But my husband and he are sitting on the couch with their little blue light blocking glasses.
Wow.
So that doesn't impact his melatonin, so he can get to sleep. And I will even give him occasionally, if he can't wind down, calming, sleep supplements. There are lots of supplements. I can mention some of those too, if you want. But there's a newer magnesium called magnesium L-threonate. For a long time, patients knew magnesium could help their bowels. They take oxide or citrate, or mag-glycinate is great for the body. But mag L-threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier, so it's excellent for deep and REM sleep that I mentioned. Excellent for anxiety, excellent for cognitive function, right?
Okay.
MIT researchers studied that specific magnesium. It's patented, trademarked as Magtine, wearing Oura rings, and they showed dramatic sleep improvement. So that's the number one supplement that I do recommend for improving sleep. This specific type of magnesium, we call it the brain magnesium over the body magnesium.
Okay.
L-theanine is great, phosphatidylserine, glycine, taurine. They're just a handful of supplements that you can take to optimize your sleep. But I would start, most women are low, well, most humans are low on magnesium. So I would start with the magnesium L-threonate first.
Yeah. I've been tracking my stuff. I've had this for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. So you have a lot of data too.
I have a ton of data on it. And I tell everything. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
my readiness factor, here's where it's at, for my
Yeah.
HRV, I'm always looking at my HRV. Like
Yes.
all the time, I'm always tracking that stuff.
You can hear it in I'm sure the listeners can hear it in my voice, but I feel like crap right now. Sorry. But both my kids got hand, foot, and mouth. And it's just so interesting because you can check. So, and I don't know exactly what virus I have. So maybe that's what I got. But it's dragging my husband and I down. And it shows. It just shows here everything tanks, and it's discouraging. But it will be encouraging as everything picks back up again. So
that's how I know I had COVID the very first time.
Yeah,
I woke up
yes.
with a readiness factor of like 36.
And you're like, what? What
And
happened?
I knew I felt like I got hit by a Mack truck.
Yes.
It specifically asked me at the time, do you have COVID? I'm like, maybe I do.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love these tools, but I will say this, since we were talking about radiation,
Yeah.
make sure you put this in airplane mode. So
How do you do that?
Yep. So you just connect it on the charger, go to the
Okay.
app. So
Yeah.
I don't download my data every day, but like, I don't know, I have to charge it once a week or whatever. So I download my data. If I want it immediately, I'll download it. Otherwise, every couple days or every week, you have to obviously turn on the Bluetooth, and it can't be in airplane mode to download your data, but then you can just you click the little, I'll have to show you.
Oh, yeah.
But you just click the little circle on the top right corner and you just slide it into airplane mode. So it will still track all of your biometrics.
Okay.
Without this being connected to Bluetooth constantly, sending
Running through your
signals to
system.
your phone. Yes. So put it in airplane mode. Yeah.
So for all of you Aura wearers, put it in airplane mode.
Yes.
I'm going to do that.
Yes.
Okay, so all this, I have EMF protectors on my phone and stuff. I don't know if it works or not, but
Yeah. I have a safe sleeve case here, which, you can show I have all kinds of EMF meters, but this absolutely blocks radiation, like 90%, whatnot. I advocate for these for sure.
yeah. So all that stuff, even though we don't see it, it's all affecting, it's all bringing toxicity. It's all doing the thing. So
it's like,
I listened to a podcast that you talked about detox and saunas. So you're a big sauna believer.
yes.
You sit in a sauna every day?
Not every day. I didn't have to wash my hair every day. Ideally, I would get in twice a week. At this point in my life, I'm probably getting in once a week. But
Okay.
ideally, I would get in 2 or 3 times a week. You can overdo sauna too. Make sure you're repleting electrolytes, staying very hydrated. But yes, again, back to longevity. Those who use saunas live longer. I'm just cutting the science down to a concise sentence. Like it will help you detox, help you live longer. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what everyone's worried about. I want to live longer and stronger and be healthy.
And keep my faculties as I do it. Yeah.
Right. And so much of that is hormone balance, isn't it? So you're like one of the first people to do pellets, right?
Yes. Back in 2012 or 2013. Yeah. In Iowa. Yep.
So do you have this massive thirst for like hunger to, like, there's got to be a better path. There's got to be a better path that leads you to bring in these therapies that are new?
Yes, I want to stay progressive. Now you can find hormone replacement therapy like on every corner. I feel like
Right.
a lot of people are doing it, although they're not all very experienced in it. But yes, I always want to stay progressive. I might as well. I got a lot of life to live here. The more I can learn, the more I can help people. So yes, I think, as my accountant would say, like, how much money are you spending on continuing? And
Yeah.
I want to cut back. Just kidding. I think it's extremely important. And I will also say, back to becoming, I had a pellet provider in Iowa. We had already offered hormone replacement therapy for several years, but actually some of my parents' friends came to me and said, we're driving to Nebraska to receive our pellets. Would you consider going and getting this training? And at first I thought, well, I don't know. I've seen some kind of train wreck cases. I don't know that I want to do this. I got to learn more about it. And I did learn more, and pellets can be done safely and effectively very well. So I heeded their advice. They said, we'll be your first patients. So they made it easy on me. I went and got the training.
Yeah.
They were my first patients. And it's just, I've done 10,000 plus, pellet procedures. So we've had a lot of happy patients. When you can get patients feeling better, sleeping better, changing their mood, right, then they're more motivated to change their diet, to do the other things that we're recommending at the clinic. So hormones are a game changer. Optimizing hormones, I should say, is a game changer. It's one of the first things that we do at our clinic for sure.
Wow. I think that's becoming more and more, that information has become more and more prevalent. But for a long time, that was never really a thing. It's like, oh yeah, women are going to go through menopause, whatever. It's just part of it. You're going to get saggy and draggy and all the things. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. And I was very young in my field and in solo practice and as a female. And, I was I was poo-pooed. A lot of providers for years said hormones cause cancer, and they, poo-pooed what I was doing when just last week, what happened, you probably saw, but the
I
FDA
saw.
took the black box warning off hormone replacement therapy, which was huge.
Yeah.
It took 23, 25 years, and a lot of women were disserviced through those years, and they probably deserve an apology for, right? And clinics like mine who were kind of marginalized and told we were crazy, well, we were actually doing the right thing this whole time. So, we can celebrate the win, but I think there needs to be a lot more done. Legislation, policy needs to keep up with science, but that's a whole nother conversation. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
this was a win. This was a huge win.
That's a
With
huge
that
one.
being said, there's still a difference between synthetic and bioidentical natural hormones. And I have a whole free ebook on my website. You can read all about that, ihhclinic.com. It's a beautiful 40, 50-page ebook. Talks about everything you want to know about hormone replacement therapy. Precision hormone therapy, I think is what it's called. So if you're interested in hormones, we're happy that the black box warning was removed, but know that bioidentical natural hormones are still what you want compared to the synthetics.
Right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. It's a step forward.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Better than a step back. So we'll take it. Yeah.
It's a step forward.
Yep.
So here's my question for you. So you talked about sleep, exercise to optimize your health. You walked through a 10-year fertility challenge as a provider, and now have a fertility blueprint book coming out next week. And I walked through a fertility issue and ended up taking a completely different path. Right.
Yeah. Sometime I want to hear all about that.
Yeah,
Not right now publicly, but yeah.
But literally I walked through a whole different path. But so many people struggle because they're lonely in it. They're isolated in it. They don't I'm like, they go to the birthday parties and they're always the one bringing the presents, and then the aunts and the uncles and never the parent. And just
like
the pain of that, huh?
And I talk a lot about that in the book. I got to a point in my life where I didn't even want to go to church or a small group because everyone was pregnant but me. And I share a story. I've shared this on my podcast and also in the book, but it was Mother's Day. I had just had an early loss, and my husband, flagged me down to come sit with him in church. And there was a family ahead of us that had 10 kids. It's Mother's Day, and I just had an early loss, and I'm just like sitting there. It's like you want to be happy for them, but you are just devastated, and you're angry, and you feel isolated and alone, and it's just so hard. This is such a vulnerable topic. People don't talk about it. You just feel like you're alone. And that's why I wrote the book, to give women hope and to know it's okay to have those feelings. It's okay to be angry, right? That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Like, you're allowed to feel the feelings. But the purpose of the book is to provide hope, back to being that hope dealer. Like, that's the whole purpose of this book, is to tell patients that if you haven't used functional medicine and you can't get pregnant, there's probably something your doctor hasn't told you yet that could help you get to the root cause of the problem. Because my story is very long. Conventional medicine missed a lot for me, but I finally got there through persistence and faith and functional medicine. I got there, and you can too.
Yeah. See, that's huge. So I'll never forget this. I walked into a house 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm trying to figure out why she had me come look at the house. They'd only been there a little while. And she's like, I walked in, I'm like, okay, so tell me your story. And she's like, I don't want to live in this neighborhood anymore. And I go, why? It's a great neighborhood.
Lots of kids? Is that where you're going with this?
She goes, there's too many kids.
Aww.
And literally I said to her, I go, what do you mean? Tell me. And she said, we moved in, we have a nursery, we were pregnant, I had a miscarriage, I've had so many, we're running out of options, and I can't look at this anymore. And I'm like, I beg you, don't sell this house. You're going to get pregnant. There's a will, there's a way. We'll figure I start throwing myself in their circumstance. Stop.
Right? You're praying for her. You're like, yes,
we're figuring this out. So here's the thing. She's become a friend of mine, but we walked through this whole path. I'm like, here's the thing. I ultimately know if you want to be a parent, somehow you're going to be a parent, right?
There are different paths to take to get there, but yes.
Yeah, but ultimately, I'm like, you will, ultimately. But here's the thing. They went through it 1, 2. They moved 3 different times because the pain point was there.
So hard. Yes. And it breaks my heart.
And I sat there and I'm like, no, I know it. And so we got him. We had so many times, and she went through so many different things. I'm happy to report she has 2 kids. Right?
Yay, praise God.
She's like, and she's thrilled. She never thought she'd be, but hope is such an anchor. So when I'm calling you a hope dealer, I'm like, you have to have hope to heal. You have to have hope to get pregnant. Hope is that thing that draws on faith to pull it in, right? And so just like I would like, here's my story. This had every impossibility wrapped around it, but God, right? And so she actually wrote down all the things that she walked through. Last year at our Thrive conference, I'm like, hey, anyone in this room like struggling because they really feel like, man, they'd like to be a parent. They're not, it's not happening for them. You don't have to raise your hand. There's people in this room I know that are dealing with infertility. And it is that topic that no one wants to talk about. It's embarrassing.
It's so shameful. It's
all the thing.
But it shouldn't be, because how many people, and even if you pursue, which obviously my goal is to help patients not have to spend the money, not have to pursue advanced reproductive medicine. But even if you pursue that, like, that's okay. I think sometimes you feel shameful, and I even did, for pursuing IVF. It's like, but you know what, if a diabetic needs insulin or a cancer patient needs chemotherapy, like, what's the difference? If you have infertility and you need to use some medicine, it's okay, right? And I talk a lot about that in my book too. Because a lot of my listeners who know I have faith were thinking, this woman is like, you know, a lot of people think of IVF as, oh, you're playing God. And I don't think it's playing God. I think it's using a tool. Only God creates life at the end of the day. Only God creates life.
You know what?
So, yeah.
I walked down a different path than we did things. But literally, I remember I was out walking. I'm thinking, God, am I taking over too much in this? Am I playing too strong of a role in this?
Yep.
And I'll never forget it. I was out walking. I don't know exactly where I was at when all of a sudden I got peace. And it's like, no, this is provision.
Yes.
And all the thought of guilt or should I or shouldn't I, or all the thoughts of even what people had said to me. I'm like, God, thank you for the provision. I'm different. I'm unique. My situation is unique to me. And this is a miracle in the moment. And I just need to take that. But if I wouldn't have had that, like, hey,
peace,
peace, like, this is a good path for me. It's not conventional. It's not typical, but it was right from the hand of God, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I probably would have struggled, and I never have struggled with it because I just know, thank you, God.
Well, that was a blessing. Yeah, no, he gave you peace. Yeah, and I think with me, he gave me persistence. I mean, this went over years and years and years. I did so many surgeries. I did 8 IUIs. I did 6 IVF transfers. It was just all the while trying to run a business and a podcast, you know, and your emotions are going up and down. You're losing your hair and you're losing your mind. And you're like, and I kept thinking, you know, is this it? Do I just give up? But thankfully I had prayer warriors, my parents, you know, I had people behind me saying, like, I wasn't at the point of, I guess, peace to stop. Like, I just felt like God was going to reveal to me every setback is telling me something valuable. Like, you know, and the journey did change me in ways that the destination never could. So I'm glad that I just continued. I was just persistent and trying to get to that root cause of the problem. And I would tell listeners the same, to press forward, because there are answers. You just have to find the right providers who have the right tools to get you those answers.
Yeah. See, the hope dealer.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Like, honestly, so for any of you out there listening to this that have been dealing with fertility issues, you've walked through that path of loneliness of that you keep having miscarriages and failed, or not even, never happening. Like, here's a solution, guys. Check out her clinic. Go to her. Go see her. There is a path forward. And I think that the biggest thing is just that there's hope that there's another answer, that you can go lower than that and figure it out. You combine faith with so much of what you do, right? It's the drawing thing. It's what's drawing you in. And there's a scripture, and it talks about in Genesis. Remember when Joseph gets sold into slavery? His brothers sell him into slavery.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, he gets sold into slavery. First they want him dead, then they feel bad. Oh, we shouldn't kill him, so we'll sell him. Okay? And then he had to get to Potiphar's house to ultimately become what a friend of mine would say, the bread bowl of the world. Like, his pain was for many. And I remember walking through a circumstance, and I flipped open my Bible, and it said, that which was meant for my evil, God turned for my good to save much people alive. So your struggle, your strain, your issue, like, look at the path that is paving for others to experience, and not walk through what you walk through.
That's literally the point. Yes. Like the pain to purpose story. my books came in last night, and I had my little 1-year-old help me unpackage them, and my brother was coming over. So I had him take one of my books home that I signed for my mother because she's a prayer warrior,
Yeah.
And so I did sign it. And that's what I told her as I was signing the book. I won't tell exactly what I wrote there, but just to thank her for being the prayer warrior and for the persistence, because I hope this message, the butterfly effect, I hope this spreads to the masses. That's the whole point. And that'll make the pain worth it. If we can help even one couple avoid the struggle that we went through. And I know we will. And I told God, not that you ever want to barter with God, but I told him early on, like, you go through the emotions of being angry and why me and why is this happening when I have all these tools? But I told God, you help me, please give me another child. And I will spread this message to the masses. And so I've spent this last year putting the whole story together. And I know listeners are probably saying, okay, what the heck is in this book? Like, what are all these pieces? But I have put it together again to provide that hope. And I mean, we talk about inflammation because I just want to mention a couple things in the book so the listeners kind of know, back to that hope dealer piece. But I talk a lot about reducing inflammation, especially in the uterine environment and in the gut, because the gut and the uterus are connected. So we want to make sure we're reducing inflammation in the body so that embryos can implant and patients don't have miscarriages. Talk a lot about stress, regulating the nervous system. I had a chronic infection. I mean, I had, it's a big word, chorioamnionitis. Sorry, I had to think about that with my first child. So that's an infection of the placenta. And I was very worried that was going to impact future pregnancies. And all the OB-GYNs that I saw said, oh no, patients with chorioamnionitis move on to, have many other children. It won't impact you. Well, long story short, it did. That was essentially causing all these embryos to not implant in my uterus. And I wonder how many, we know that secondary infertility is so common now, which is infertility after successfully having one child. I wonder how many patients have low-grade infections. I've had friends who've had chorioamnionitis, or they've had group E strep, or they've had STDs, or, whatnot. Those low-grade infections could be preventing implantation. Wow. So I talk a lot about just low-grade infections, talk about toxins, which we've mentioned on the show, talk about birth trauma and unresolved fear. I mean, I had postpartum hemorrhage with my first, and my second, could have died. So there's that trauma aspect. Yeah. And then back to miscarriages, a lot of patients have blood flow issues. They have clotting factors that are never explored. Yeah. So those are just some of the things I mentioned in the book. I talk tons about egg quality, especially for the aging woman, and I have tons of protocols in here to help. I talk about male factor infertility too. It's a 400 something plus, page book with just lots of nuggets that I think everyone will take something from. And Amy, I forgot the question again. I'm just going off on tangents and then trying to bring it back.
I love it. We're just talking about the pain to the purpose.
Yes. And yes. So this is the exciting part, because I'm on the other side of the pain. Yeah. Right. But the listeners may still be in that pain, and they're going to have their pain to purpose story too. So
yeah. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, but I hope that more importantly than just enjoying it, that you'll take action, that you'll go schedule an appointment with her, buy your book. It's available on Amazon, right?
Amazon and yourfertilityblueprint.com. Yep. Okay. You could pre-order now, but it launches on the 25th. So, yep.
Yeah. But think about what a gift that could be to somebody. I mean, I'm probably going to buy a bunch of them because I run into that all the time. Infertility, when you've had issues with it, people talk to you a little bit more about it, right?
Yes.
Like they're like, oh, Amy struggled with this. Okay. So I talk to so many women that struggle with it. And so I'm so grateful I'm going to be able to put a book in their hand that has a path, and that there's a person behind the book that is close, or that's available, that's accessible. And so I'm really grateful. I hate that you walk that path. I hate that, but I'm grateful for the impact. And I thank you for your commitment to actually let the masses know. Right.
Yes.
That's
thank you.
A gift. And so thank you for doing that. I know there's sleepless nights and lots of stress and what the heck, why the heck? Why am I doing this? Why do I put myself through this? But thank you for doing it. And thank you for paying the price for it, because I can't imagine how many people will have babies and legacy and impact because you took the time to write the book and be vulnerable with your pain path.
Thank you. That means so much. That would be the biggest blessing ever. Yes.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
So check her out. Any parting words that you have for us?
Don't give up hope. Just don't give up hope. I know a lot of individuals. I've even had a lot of friends from high school who never had children, and it breaks my heart, because I wonder if, had they had some of this knowledge, could they have if that was their choice and their desire, could they have, had children? And so I just trust your instincts. If you feel like something isn't right, that a stone hasn't been overturned, it hasn't been. So find someone who can help, find a functional medicine provider. Don't walk this journey alone. Surround yourself with support. You need it. It's a hard journey. And so don't go it alone. You can certainly check out I also have a podcast, Your Longevity Blueprint.
Yes.
The book is, again, will be live next Tuesday, but there's also an ebook that'll be like on sale for $3 or something. So even if, funds are tight, you can get a $3, ebook with all this information. And I guess the final message would be to share this. You may be listening and you're past these years, but you may know someone. So please think of 3 people that have been struggling. Maybe they've had miscarriages. Maybe they've never been able to conceive, or they have secondary infertility. Please share this with them. So, and I forgot to tell you this, Amy, but also if you are interested in nutraceutical products too, I'm going to give your listeners 10% off using code Amy at yourlongevityblueprint.com. So almost forgot to say that, but.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being such a great resource. Thank you for being a hope dealer, that all things, your body is meant to heal, and that with the right tools, you can live your best life.
Yes. Amen. Yes. Your family is waiting. Don't give up.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.